Hey everyone, good morning. It is YouTube live time. And this time I actually did not schedule this YouTube live way ahead in advance because last time it gave me some trouble. So I'm just now sharing it in the group. So let's see here. Email. All right, so just say hey down below, guys, and we could get started. I just shared the link in the group so people could join. And we'll wait a moment. So I know obviously by doing it this way, we're going to have to wait a few minutes for people to join. That's fine. But the last two times we did this, there was a lot of issues with YouTube, and I'm not going to have that today. So I just shared the link in the group. People will join. We'll get started. I emailed people 15 minutes ago to pretty much scope out my YouTube channel to see when I go live. And here we are. Let me just adjust my camera. All right. And I'm still deciding on whether YouTube Live will be the permanent home of our lives, which is every Tuesday. So we shall see. Okay. So let me get started. So today we're doing a free email marketing bootcamp, which will entail a few different things. One is how to start an email list. 2 is how to build one. 3 is what to email your customers. And 4 is how to actually make money from this list. Okay. This is really important. You guys know that there is, 1, 2, 3, maybe you know now. There's 3 days left before the email marketing webinar price goes up. Forget that for a second. Even if you don't want to get it, still join me. If you have an email list and you're utilizing it and all this stuff, then that's fine. But I still want you to join me because I've had enough of people not taking care of themselves, taking care of their business, making sure that they actually set up some things like an email list to protect themselves, to drive their own traffic. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to this live so I could help you for free, as the point of this live, set up your email list and get it started. Now, I would recommend taking notes or rewatching this another time because while there are some simple things we're going to get started with, there are going to be some more parts of this boot camp that will be, more advanced, if you will, that you may need to reference later. So this is a free live that you could reference later. Okay. But again, enough is enough. You guys need to start an email list. And if you haven't started it, you have to know what to do with it, how often to email, what to say to your customers, like really get it going. Just getting it started, that's great because you want to build that list, is not enough, right? Because if you are watching this and you didn't get started, I'm going to help you get started. If you've gotten started a long time ago but don't know what to do with it, I'm going to help you with that as well. Okay, so hang tight. Say hey down below so I know you're alive. Okay, I'm also going to put in the comments the link to the email course. Because like I said, guys, there is 3 days left before the price goes up. I've been a bad marketer for you guys, and I have not warned you over the last couple of days, but I warned you last week on Tuesday. I've just been so swamped with work as usual that I was just not on my game to email you and post and all this stuff about the email list webinar. But you guys already know. Okay. So like I said, guys, say hey down below. There you guys are. Make sure everything's working, and it is. Again, I posted a link. Everything is good, right? I'm excited. Now, listen, if you already have the email list webinar and you're joining me, still join me, right? This may be the live that helps kick your butt back into gear. Sometimes we just need motivation to get back to work. And let me explain to you before we get started, okay? And while people roll in. Yesterday, and I put it on my Instagram stories, I was working on a strategy, a very frustrating one for me. A lot of time when I start a new strategy, guys, anything we start new could be very frustrating. Why? Because it's new to us. We don't know how to do it properly. There's a lot of guesswork. It's, how do I put this code here? That's one thing I was dealing with yesterday and still dealing with this morning. How do I do this and how do I do that? I mean, when you think about email lists, for example, it's a lot of, how often should I email my customers, or how do I set this up? What should I say? Did I put everything I needed to put in the email that would get them to convert? Like, There's a lot, and a lot of times because you don't know all that, it takes you forever. Hence what I was going through yesterday on a Monday, nonetheless, which is like the most horrible day to do something like that. But I need to get started on it. And I was frustrated, and I had a very bad day yesterday. Went to go get some ice cream last night, and I realized something. I was like, wow, this is what members go through when they're starting a new strategy that I've already been doing, and then they learn from me, such as email us, and they're starting it. It can be very frustrating. I get it. I get it because I was there yesterday starting that new strategy. And then today I'm a better person. And I'm like, okay, now I'm more focused. And I'll tell you what I did to become more focused. But essentially, I still needed to do it. How I felt yesterday was I wanted to not do that strategy anymore. Okay? It was annoying and it was a lot of work, but I know it needs to be done. Well, in order for me to continue growing. And email list is the same thing, guys. You need to eventually get your hands in on it, and starting it is the biggest hurdle for people. And it's actually the easiest thing to do when you want to start it, which we'll go over. Building it takes time. And of course, marketing is the actual emailing customers is the harder part, but starting it is not that big of a deal. Okay. So if you haven't started it, then shame on you. But anyway, good morning, everyone. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a long time. Is that true? No, I saw you guys last week. So that was my story from yesterday. But I'm going to, after this, I'm going to go back into that strategy. I refocus myself. I'm more organized. But just to kind of give you a lesson that you will be frustrated, especially with newer things. Now, of course, shameless plug, if you get the email list webinar, you don't have to be frustrated because everything is laid out for you. All the how-to and the step-by-step and all that stuff, okay? And more to it, and I'll go over that. So, but if you have interest, or even if you don't have interest, we're still going to talk about email list today. We're still going to get people started, and they're going to have some direction because, and I will say two more things before I actually get into the boot camp. I spoke to somebody yesterday. They know who they are. I'm not going to say their name. And somebody before the weekend started. So Friday. Before the weekend started, it was a good friend of mine. She has a business as well. I'm not going to get the specifics, okay? But a social platform terminated her account. And she gets a lot of traffic from that social platform. And she freaked out. She had to hang up the phone with me, call her marketing director. Yeah, she has a marketing director. She's still a small business, but she still has people working for her anyway. And it was really upsetting because I'm like, wow, any platform you don't control can really take things away from you. Now, for the majority of us, it won't, right? Because you could see that it's possible, but it's not probable. However, you should not live your life with that type of saying, right? It's possible, but it's probably not going to happen. No, you should always set yourself up for success just in case, as well as still utilize email lists for additional way to get traffic. So email list is something you own, right? And nobody could take that away from you, which I absolutely love. But even if you look into the future and know that nobody will ever take it away from you, it's still important to have it because you could control your own traffic. So when algorithms change, you can still control your own traffic, right? So anyway, she's still trying to work on that issue. And yesterday, a member messaged me because, good morning, nothing got shut down, but Etsy emailed her and said, I think you guys have seen this before through other members. They gave her a warning that she has a lot of complaints on her shop. But she did say there's only been 2 complaints recently, and she sells a lot. So in ratio to her orders, it was not a lot. So she doesn't understand why she's getting it. But she said one of the complaints it was resolved. It was a non-delivery, but it was delivered. Silly shit, right? And now she's in probation or something. And, she said to me that you always say to start your own website and start this, start that, but I'd never listened. But she's like, hear me out. She may be on this call. She'll hear me out because most of us are very busy trying to fill the orders. And that's the issue. The issue is Etsy gets you so busy, you don't have time to start an email list or do other things. Enough's enough. If you're watching this right now and you're like, yeah, I get it, but I'm still not going to do it, like subconsciously, that's silly. You have to start. Okay. Whether it be an email list, whether it be this, whatever strategy it is to keep growing. All right. So, we all agree, right? Tell me down below what you think about these 2 stories I ran into. It's just so upsetting to me. And I'm like, you know, and yeah, you should definitely be proactive even during your busiest time. If you're so busy and you can't stop filling orders, you need to hire somebody. That means business is good. And if you're like, if I hire somebody, I literally can't afford to pay them, then there's a broken business model there. Okay. That's silly, right? So that person should really be starting an email list, should really be starting, I told you before, don't start a website before you start an email list, right? Should really be on Amazon, should really be like, diversifying, But anyway, here we are. So email list bootcamp for free starts right now. We're first going to go over how to start an email list. Okay, so this is really simple thing. So if you already know this, just hang tight. This won't take long. I'm actually going to go through the steps in my email list marketing course. The part where it actually tells you how to get started setting up an email list. And this is really basic. And if you guys have my course, you guys know that there is the course workbook, and this is all spelled out for you in there as well as the videos. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Email list marketing. Let me explain what that is first for the newbies out there, for the newbies in the back. Hey, you're pretty much capturing emails, okay? And after you capture them, you're able to market to them. How do you capture them? Well, it's like an ethical bribe. You tell the customer, hey, if you want to sign up, I'll give you 15% off or whatever percentage off. We'll talk about that in a moment. And so then they join, okay, and everybody's happy, right? That means you get to email, and then when you can, you market to them, and they're happy because they may take you up on your offer sometimes, right? Not all the time. When Sally joins your email list, she take you up on every single offer, unless you have a super fan with you, but otherwise, no. But anyway, you're gathering more and more, emails, and that's really, really helpful. You own this email list, and we're going to talk about how often to email them and what to email them in a second. But that's essentially what an email list is, okay? Now, just for the record, I go through the stats in my email list webinar, and there's stats you can find all over the web, but email list has the highest conversion rate amongst other marketing channels. So any way you market, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, email list, whatever ways you market, email list has the highest conversion. Okay, which I find to be very fantastic. And I love that you could leverage email lists, meaning for example, in my webinar, I teach you how to create a very passive email marketing strategy, which is really cool. You could leave it active, but I teach you how to plan the whole entire year and schedule the whole entire year. But if you, hold on, take a sip right here. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought completely. Okay, so let's get started pretty much, okay? I want to get started on how to set up an email list. So what you want to do is pick the email marketing service provider. And for everyone, I recommend Mailchimp. Or there's a few others, by the way, that I recommend that are free to start. MailerLite is free to start. Has some really good features. Okay, I know there's some members that actually have experience with that. Okay, cool. But in my webinar, for example, the email list webinar, we go over Mailchimp. All right. In the bonus section, I do have a bonus section for Aweber, which is what I use. But Mailchimp is really great to start. You get 500 contacts, emails for free after you pass that threshold. Sorry. I think you start paying very minimal amount. Okay. So I recommend Mailchimp. How do you create an account on Mailchimp? Super simple, guys. Okay. You could probably do this without even me telling you, but I'll tell you. You go to Mailchimp.com, you click create an account. You type in the email address you want associated with the account. Simple. You provide a username. Okay. You choose your password. Real simple. Okay. You could probably do this as we're speaking now or even after. Okay. Then you select the plan that you want. You can click the free plan, obviously, if you're starting. Okay. And then you fill in your name, last name, etc. All right. Then you fill in your business name. The business name will actually be the name of your email list, meaning there's a list where you gather emails in. Okay. When you type in your business name, that will be the name of the list. Okay. Then you tell Mailchimp if you have a website, and you could put in your .com or whatever. Okay. By the way, you could do email marketing even if you don't have a website. When I first started doing it, I only had an Etsy shop. Okay. Then you fill out your address and you click continue. Really simple stuff, right? Now, if you already have an email list and you're just switching to Mailchimp, you could import your list, or you can select no, you don't have an email list yet, which obviously you're going to start gathering emails, okay? And that's it. You're done. You have literally created the list. Simple, right? But you have to start working on now how to get people on it. Okay. So if you want Sally to come on your list, you have to provide her a link of some sort, right? You have to provide her something that she could go to. So there's a couple more steps you have to do. Okay. So hold on. The first step is, well, the second step is how are you going to convince Sally to come on the list? Okay. Nobody loves you that much that they're going to join your list just because. Okay. So you have to give them an opt-in offer. An opt-in offer pretty much is like an ethical bribe. And you've seen this before everywhere, unless you've been hiding under a rock. It's like save 20% off your first purchase. It's save, free shipping on blah, blah, right? It's that thing you want to exchange for their email. Okay. So you have to remember, whatever you pick, this is important, guys. You need to make it valuable for the customer. I understand you're giving away a percentage off, which takes away money from your pocket, but understand that that email from that customer is valuable. Okay. So you have to treat it that way. Lauren says a landing page, I'm guessing. Yes, people call it a landing page, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay. Because you need the offer first, and then we'll create the landing page or opt-in form. It's really interchangeable. Okay. So entice the customer by getting a good offer. Okay. And there's a few different ones that are most popular to choose from, have been proven to be the most popular. Percentage off, free shipping, a free download, which is really great for digital businesses and stuff. And, it's important that if you're not sure which one to do, percentage off is the easiest. But if you're not sure which one to do, and by the way, this is much more than these, but these are the most popular, test it out. You could do one for a month and then change it, do one for another month, change it, and then do the third one for a month and see how people react. Okay. But if you're like, that's a lot of work. And it is. Okay. There's some work behind that. I'd recommend just doing percentage off. It's something that feels good to your customer and you're not just being cheap. But don't do anything crazy, like 40% off. That's like, what's going on here, right? You don't want it to be quite a Black Friday offer, but you don't want it to be like super, super cheap. Okay. So that's that. Now that you have your offer in your mind, oh wait, let me read this comment. Heather, I agree. Between what happened to her and with Etsy changing things up with ads, I'm certainly kicking my butt into gear with the email list and bettering my website. I want to be in control. We need to be in control. We're business owners. Enough of this nonsense, right? And some of you may be newer to online selling, newer meaning a year or two. And so this might be like, what? Like this is a lot of work. And I get that. But if you've been around for a while and you're still like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't have an email list and I literally don't drive traffic in different channels, and social, whatever, like you don't do anything, then that's no excuse, Okay. So now that we have your opt-in offer and you decided what it is, okay, cool. You got it. It's not that hard to think of, right? You could do it right now as we're talking. You need a place where you could place your opt-in offer. Okay. So most of us, if not all of us, sell on Etsy. Okay. You can't put your opt-in offer on Amazon. You can't. Okay. But Etsy is the most popular place. You could put it on social media if you have it, wherever your marketing channels are. You can put in the signature of your email if you're messaging customers, or signature of your convos if you're messaging customers. A lot of time we message customers for proofs and things. You can put it on your website. I mean, there's many places. Okay. However, the most popular, like I said, is Etsy. So we'll just start with Etsy today. And in the webinar, by the way, we go through it in much more detail. There's a video that says 5 ways to build your email list. And then there's, I think, 17 additional ways. Check out those videos. Okay. So the first is the Etsy banner, Etsy photos. You know how you have photos? You have additional photos in your description. Okay. And if you have a website, a pop-up, the first photo on your website, usually give or take, there's like some sort of graphic on your website when you first land on it. And it's above the fold, which means you don't have to scroll down, in your header, in your footer, in your email section, like I said. So you're going to figure out where you want to place your offer. After you figure it out, you're going to start creating graphics where necessary to have this offer. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few tips, okay, guys? Evie, building your own site is a lot of work. Doing it right now, but so worth it. It is a lot of work, Evie, and I really hope, not just Evie, for anybody else, building your own site is awesome. But you better have a traffic plan, because if you build your site and nobody comes, it's really discouraging. Imagine you just have a rich uncle and you're like, they're paying for my website monthly. It doesn't matter. Even if that's the case, it's still very discouraging when nobody comes to your site. So everybody should have a traffic plan, and more than one. I would like at least two. So for me, it's Google, it's Pinterest, it's email list. What else am I doing? My repeat customer base. I have a huge branding thing, Google repeat customers. Yeah. So I think I'm missing one. But anyway, so what percentage offer? I'm currently offering 10, but I have free shipping store-wide, no minimum. If you offer free shipping plus 10%, that's good. You're combining two. Because 10% feels a little bit low, unless you're selling like really high-end jewelry, and that's really good. It's really relative or subjective, actually, to what you're selling, okay? But combining two is really cool. So after you decide what your percentage off is and where you need to be placing, you have to create the graphics for it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few tips. I go into much more detail in the email list webinar, okay? You want to make sure that a few things stand out on your graphic. So first of all, if you're making an Etsy banner, you know the size of the Etsy banner. Google it, okay? If you go to Canva, I love canva.com. It's for free, okay? They actually have already set sizes for Etsy banners, Etsy photos, etc., social media, everything. So you go to Etsy banner or Google it if you're using another design platform. But I recommend Canva if you're not design, you don't have a design bug with you, right? So you want to make sure a couple things stand out. The benefit to the customer. What's in it for them? What's in it for them is a percentage off. So your graphic, because I have some text on it, obviously, is going to have the percentage off. Save, and I'm just making this up. You could do it in different ways. Save 20% off your first purchase. You see what I did there? I did save and then 20% off, which is the biggest thing for that customer, is the biggest thing. And then your first purchase. Sign up at, and then the URL. The URL, by the way, is given to you by Mailchimp. I recommend, I go through this in the webinar, so make sure you do it. Taking that URL, going to bit.ly, bit.ly, and shortening that URL and make it customized. Meaning after you shorten the URL, change it to, Sally's email sign up. I don't know, whatever, something simple, easy to remember, and easy to retype, because you're going to put it in the graphic. So when Sally sees that, she's like, oh yeah, I want to get it at 20%. She retypes it in her address bar, and she could go to sign up, right? We'll talk about opt-in forms in a second. So now that you have that up, you have to make sure the benefit is the biggest thing. Usually bigger in font size, usually a different color so it stands out compared to the other fonts, other colors around it. It should also be a branded photo, okay? I go into a much more detail, like I said, in the email list webinar, but those are the few things I want to leave you with today. And to make sure that stands out, it's on brand, and they know where to sign up, okay? And you could do the same thing for the other places you want the graphics. In Etsy photo, well, the description, you don't need an actual graphic. You just type it in. Save, remember, lead off with the benefit for the customer, okay? Save 20% off your first purchase. Sign up here, and then the link, okay? And you can do this everywhere around the web. You could do it on your Instagram profile. You could do it on your website. You could do it on your Facebook profile. I mean, there's many places. You have to think about, here's a key. And again, I list all the different ways in the webinar, but you have to think about, where does the customer see? That might sound weird. But all the touch points of the customer. Like I email the customer, so my email signature. I convo the customer, so my convo. Like you have to be an email list building machine. So you have to kind of swarm all the touch points where the customer is looking with this message. Do it. And I know for a fact, even if you started your emails and you're kind of marketing, you're kind of like into it, I know many of us haven't utilized all the strategies. And when I say all, it's not overkill. It's not like Sally is going to be annoyed if she sees it on your Instagram profile and your website and Etsy shop. Like that's not a thing. Okay. So you need to take care of yourself and build. And so anytime a customer sees it, they're going to join. And if a customer sees it and does not join, it's on them. Meaning I want to make sure that if a customer didn't sign up, it's not because they didn't see the graphic. If they didn't see the graphic, that's on you. It's because they didn't want to. That's the only reason why they shouldn't, because that means you have put your opt-in offer everywhere. Got it? I think we understand, right? Before I move on to the next part of this email list bootcamp, let me continue with the comments. Oh wait, I already read that. Okay, sorry. Hi. Okay, so and by the way, if you're a email list marketing webinar student, you'll see, obviously this is all in the videos, but in much more depth. And you could also reference the course workbook. Okay. So, and of course I give you 6 more strategies for an opt-in offer. I actually, in the webinar, teach you how to design your opt-in graphic much more fully. I mean, here I could tell you, and I told you some things, it's much more in detail in the webinar. And, there's a little bit more that I go into in there, and I show you how to do it and all that stuff. Okay. So now you need to go back to Mailchimp and design your opt-in page, your opt-in form, your landing page, whatever you want to call it. Now on Mailchimp, FYI, there's a place to design your landing page. That's easy to find, but the old way, okay, people find it a little bit more easier for whatever reason, is the opt-in form. The pros and cons between the new way and the old way. The new way, the landing page, it's much more attractive. The con to that is that you cannot design your thank you page. It's like an automated thank you page. Okay. You may or may not care about that. In the webinar, I go over why to create a thank you page and how to actually design one. Okay. So it's up to you. My members preferred the old way. So in my webinar, I taught the old way, how to create the form and then how to link people to that form. Okay. So now you have a form that has a name and email, or just email. Like, don't make it hard on the customer. Guys, when you create your opt-in form, ask for the bare minimum. Don't ask for their birthday, and don't ask for where they live, and don't ask for their favorite drink. Like, make it simple. I don't want the customer to work hard. Okay. And what's really cool about Mailchimp, and I think a lot of email marketing service providers have this, but Mailchimp has a little setting. It's in the settings section. And again, I go through it in the webinar, but you could check off the GPDR settings. And so then it will automatically add it to your form. Okay, which is really cool. So you could be compliant. All right. So you design your opt-in page. You make sure you have the benefit. You have your logo on top. You also explain what else they're going to be signing up for. So while they'll be getting the first initial email with the 20% off or whether opt-in offer you want to offer, you have to also tell them what they expect to receive in the future. Exclusive offers, monthly discounts, freebie, like whatever it is. Just make sure you also put it on the top. Then you get their name, email, or just email. And then a little sign up bar. That's it. Okay. So, there's obviously a few more steps. You want to make sure that you go in and change your welcome email. Okay, we're not going to go through it here, but you just go in there, you change your welcome email, which pretty much will have the discount you promised them, the coupon code. Okay. And a few other things if you want to put in there, like linking back to your shop or things like that. Again, optimizing it, really important, okay, to get those conversions. Okay. All right. So we kind of went over how to start an email list, and we kind of went over how to build it. Okay. And you could probably guess right now, if you stood back, where the places you would put your opt-in offer, majority. And you'll probably miss some, but as long as you get 90% of the places that it should be in, great. If you want additional ideas, you have to just think about where customers look, where your customers are looking. It's hard to think like that, to be honest, but that's what you have to think about. It may not come to you right now. Obviously, if you have the webinar, check the webinar out. I have all the ways listed. But if you're just like, let me think about it, it could take a little bit to be like, oh yeah, I could put it in my email signature, or oh yeah, this is where the customer's looking, or in the footer of my website, like la la la, right? Okay. So, okay. So again, I'm just following my course workbook here to make sure I'm not missing any big points. Now, here's the thing, guys. We started an email list, we're building it, and this takes a while. Building takes a while, meaning you get a few people joining your email list today, you get some joining tomorrow. What do you have? You have 6 people on the list. Do you think if you send out an email, you'll be like being a millionaire? Not quite, you know. While it's important to get quality people on your list, it's also it's a quantity game. Because when you look at conversions, if you have a 1% conversion, just in general, okay, if you're like converting at 1%, you need 100 people to open your email, right? To open your email and click through to actually get a sale. For example, email lists have a higher conversion. So for the amount of people that click, like for example, I could have like 50 people click and probably get like 6 sales from that. It's a very high conversion. Okay. Does that make sense? So it has to be through people that open and click through to your website. So the more people you build on it, the better. And so while I don't think you should not market to people just because you have a few people on your list, they don't know how many people you have on your list. They don't know that you only have 6 people on your list. They probably think you've been doing this for years, right? So you could still market. Now, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's worth it because you're like, Dahlia, I spent all this time creating an email and there's only 6 people on my list or 30 people on my list or 150 people on my list, right? And I get that. I'm not gonna act like I'm the first person that will start sending emails and create a whole campaign when there's a few people on my list. But I still recommend doing something. And so while you are sending an automated email out, you still want to set up a series of emails that will send after 4 weeks, and then again after 5 weeks, and then again after 3 weeks, okay? In the webinar, I teach you 14 reasons to email a customer that's not date specific. So it's really based on when they sign up. So when Sally signs up today, 4 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 4 weeks later, she keeps getting emails. You can set that up for the whole entire year if you want and never have to touch your email list again until you are comfortable with the amount of people you have on your list and you want to actively market. And even then you can still schedule in advance, meaning like, Valentine's Day email, Christmas email, Easter email, etc. But if you're just like, Dahlia, I don't have much people on my list. I just want to make this passive as possible until I get enough that I want to actively market around holiday types of things, then set it up. In the email list webinar, I go over 14 reasons to email customers that's not date specific. So you can set up automatically and show you exactly how to set up automatically. It's all broken down for you. Anywho, so now that you built a list and you're building, okay? You want to make, hold on, I'm like running out of fuel here. You're wondering what you should email them. Okay, I know that's actually the biggest concern for people. The people can figure out on their own how to start a list and even build it, even though you should really optimize building your list. What to email them? First of all, emailing them in the quantity is like my recommendation when you're first starting out, once a month. If you do it a little bit less than that, fine. Nobody's gonna like, tell the police on you, right? So once a month. Now, in terms of frequency, once a month per major event. So Valentine's Day will be for February, spring email for March, Easter email for April, blah, 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 right? May, Mother's Day, June, Father's Day. So that's my main email. So once a month, you should be talking to them. However, you should be sending reminder emails. So depending on how long your sale is, you should really be thinking about how many reminder emails should you get. So for example, if you do a 3-day sale, you should send an email on the first day and the last day. Okay, so you're emailing a little bit more than once a month. You're emailing them twice. That's because it's a reminder email. If you have a 7-day, sale, maybe you want to email them 3 times. Okay, so just it varies. And by the way, I have recommendations in the webinar depending on how long your sale is and all that stuff. So the first thing is, again, once a month per theme. All right, and then you want to consider what you want to email them about. So there is what you want to email them about and what you're going to say. What you're going to email them about, there's 2 different types, guys. Okay, holiday related and non-holiday related. You guys know what the holidays are throughout the year. Labor Day sale, Valentine's Day sale. So just look at a calendar, okay, and use that. That's the simplest thing that you could do. If you want some non-date specific ideas, I do go through a whole list in the webinar, but some examples are a stock up sale, a limited edition sale. Okay. There's other ones like a flash sale. They're not date specific. So for example, if I don't feel like running a Labor Day sale, when was Labor Day? Recently, right? In this month? Yeah. Then I could just say a stock up sale in September. Okay. It will still give me a reason to email them in September if I don't want to do a Labor Day sale. Okay. Some businesses are not relevant to send a Valentine's Day email. Okay. It just doesn't make sense for them, right? So they could do a non-date specific sale then. Again, I give you 14 different ideas, 14 in the webinar. Okay. And you can mix and match. Like for me, I send more than one. I'm trying to send more than one email a month, but currently I'm sending one. So I might do like Valentine's Day in February and then maybe a whatchamacallit sale in, end of February. So let's say a stock up sale, or let's say a limited edition sale. So, or a flash sale or whatever. Okay. Again, I give you additional ideas there. All right. So you email them pretty much based on the holiday. By the way, it feels more comfortable to email them for that reason. One, because they're expecting it. Most e-commerce places email based around holidays, Labor Day sale, President's Day sale, blah, blah sale. So it feels more comfortable. You don't feel like you're bothering them. Okay, but you're more than welcome to mix it up and do non-date holiday specific items. Okay, now that you have the reason why to email them, now the question is, what are you going to say? We're following so far, right, guys? Let's make sure that you're still with me. Say hey down below. Say you're following, okay? And again, this is a boot camp, so this is a quick version of it. If you want a full training and you want somebody to hold your hand through this, literally get the webinar. I have to put the link in again. I keep forgetting. Okay, so yes, you're following. Love it. I'm assuming everyone else is following. Okay, so you have the why to email them. Now, what are you going to say? So there's many things you could say within an email. Actually, oh my God, guys, how did I not mention this yet? Crap. Oh, let me go. Let me pull it out. So in the course, exclusive for people that have the webinar, there is a smart sheet. It's a Google sheet that you put in a few things and it auto-populates things for you. Anyway, more about that in a little bit when I talk about the course. But I have all the reasons what you should say in an email. And that's pretty much like what sale you're going to tie it to. And not always you have to tie it to a sale, by the way. So if you're just like, listen, I'm not all about giving sales. There's other ideas in this course, okay? Let me open it really quick. Okay. So now that you have a reason to email them in February, let's say Valentine's Day, or you have a reason to email them in May for Mother's Day, what are you going to say inside there? Well, I'm going to give you a few ideas here, but check out the course for more details. And then, of course, that worksheet's really cool. All right. So obviously, you could pair it off with a certain discount, percentage off, dollar off, etc. Or you could do things that are not quite a sale, such as, for example, let's see, for Mother's Day. I mean, most likely, people in e-commerce give sales, whatever. But for Mother's Day, if you didn't want to, you could do a gift guide. That's not a sale. A gift guide is non-sale related. You're just showing the most popular items or the best gifts for Mother's Day, etc. Let me see. Negative 10?
It's not negative 10. It's 10. That's what you have. Yellow 10.
This looks good, but I thought it was supposed to be negative 10. Am I wrong? Double check.
Maybe I see the minus sign.
Yes, tell me. Show me if it is. Okay, thank you. So you get what I'm saying, guys? So there's different ways, there's different things or discounts or reasons to email, or type of sale to email that's not always sale related, that you pair up with the holiday or non-holiday event. Okay. And again, my smart sheet has it all worked out for you. For those of you, actually, I know some of your names here. For those of you who have my emails webinar already, tell me, have you checked out the worksheet yet? Isn't it amazing? Please tell me. Please tell me, because I worked so hard on it. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so you have the holiday or the non-holiday, and you're like, what do I say? You tell them either the discount that you're giving them. There's many different discounts you could do. Be creative. I was creative when I first started, but after a while, listen up, you have to figure out what your customers respond to. And then after a while, I've been doing this for years, by the way. After a while, I was like, okay, this is what they respond to. I've only stuck to those few types of sales. I'm trying something new for the new year. Okay. I haven't done it before. But in general, my customers respond to this type of sale. Percentage off always works. I feel like if you're just like, I'm new, I don't know what to do. Percentage off always works, right? I mean, I was depending on what type of percentage, but that's what I'm trying to say, right? So think that through. But in the beginning, you may be testing different things out. I have tested things out and failed, right? I have done, what was it? I did a tier discount. That was good. I did, what was the one that failed? -10?
This is no, you guys have it there as 10, but this is a -10 and this is a 10. But you guys have it there as 10. So I need to change it.
I think it's this one we like better, right? Ask Brianna which one she likes better.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. What was the one that didn't work out so well? Crap, I forgot. I had on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the point is I tested out and I know what doesn't work for my people. Okay. And then I stopped using that one. And I might test it out on several different occasions before I really realize it's not worth it, right? It's not, they don't respond to that. They don't get it. It's confusing. They don't like it, whatever. So now that you have the reason to email and what you should say, it's time to think about setting up the email. Now, this is a whole thing. In the course, there's a whole section about setting up the email, right? There's a lot of facets to it. Subject line, what you should include in the email, improving your click-through rate. I mean, there's so many things, okay? But I want to go through some things here to leave you with. If you can get the webinar, if you have it, then use the webinar. It's much more thorough. But if you're like, I can't afford the webinar or I have no interest, give me some information for free. I got you, okay? Because regardless, that's the point of me doing this. I need to make sure that you guys set it up because I don't want to hear anybody ever again tell me that they got screwed over by something and they don't have their own email list or none of that anymore, okay? So there's a checklist I want to go through. Let me pull it up that you should make sure that you cover before you hit send. And again, the checklist is inside the course, amongst other things that, to be more thorough. But hold on. Okay. So this is kind of detailed. Again, it's all in the course workbook and the video, but I'm going to tell it to you here. You want to make sure you have an effective subject line. Effective meaning people actually open your email. If you literally have like thousands of people on your email list, thousands, but you have subject lines that suck, nobody's going to see your message. Nobody's going to see your offer. Nobody's going to see your coupon code to use, okay? So effective subject line is like the first, like your open rate should be 10 to 30%. I'm hovering around on sometimes 18%, 20, 25%. It just depends on the sale. And sometimes people actually have larger. When I clean out my email list, which I do once a year or so, my open rates get higher. But you have to work on your effective subject line. Things that make people open. Again, I go through a whole section, a whole video of effective subject lines and what to do to make them more effective to get people to open. Okay? Also, a cool feature that has been added to a lot of email marketing services within the past year or so is an effective pre-header message. Pre-header message, guys, is, when you check your email and you see an email like from, I don't know, Etsy, and it has a subject line, and then you see some text. That text is what you could preview what's inside the email. That's a pre-header message. And so you have to understand that is another space that gets people to open. That's another area, prime real estate, to get people to say, yeah, I want to open. So again, in the course, I go through what you should be putting in there to get people to open. Remember, it's all about getting them to open. Once you get them to open, then you have to talk about convincing them to purchase and graphics and all that stuff, right? Anyway, but again, the whole setting up the email and stuff like that goes in the course. We're not doing that today, but I'm just going to give you this checklist to make sure that you cover all these things. Okay, so you also want the email to be branded. So include your logo. That was set up. That should have been set up in your templates. Again, I do it in the course, but your templates should have your logo in it. include your colors for your brand unless you're doing something holiday specific. Like for Christmas, I do like gold glitter and things like that, and then of course include social media icons. Okay, so it's branded. Now, another thing you want to consider before you hit send is what is above the fold. Above the fold, guys, is when you open an email, before you scroll down, what does the customer see? Okay, so categories in your email, it should appear above the fold, at least your top categories. Okay, you should know your top categories. If you don't, see what people are buying from your store. Okay, that's number one. If you have a website, see which pages are most visited often. Like, there's many ways to see your top categories. They should be put on the top, similar to a website. You know how you have a website, it's like, oh, Sally's, jewelry, and then it has like jewelry, sorry, not jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets. Those are the categories. That's what you want on top, okay? All right, sorry. And then you want a show stopping message that should appear again above the fold so it catches the subscriber's attention. Meaning when they open the email, you want to stop them in their tracks. What you don't want them to do is close out of your email. No. So what's a show stopping message, guys? You guys know this answer. Tell me down below while I read the comments. Like, what would get you to be like, oh, I want to check this out, right? Or at least continue scrolling, right? Or click through. What would it be as a consumer yourself? Let me read the comments here. Samara says, how many subscribers do you recommend getting first before we start marketing to them? So I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. When you start an email list, and guys, I know you're busy, but when you get a chance, right? I would recommend you to start setting up the automated series that is not holiday specific. So for example, Samara, imagine she starts today, right? And she gets like 5 people on her list. And she's like, okay, when should I start emailing them? You should set up an automated series that sends 4 weeks after Sally signs up, and then another 3 weeks after, another 4 weeks after, etc. Do enough of those that so we are on the same page there. And then to answer your full question is, okay, fine, I'll do that. But when should I start sending more holiday related emails? It really depends, guys. I would say to Samara and everybody else, you really want to make sure that you do it once you get people engaging with those automated emails. So for example, Samara starts her email list today, and Sally joins it, many people join it, and then automated emails go out like a stock up sale, like things that are not date related over time. And she starts to see people over time really interacting with those emails, because you can see the stats of those emails and people purchasing, right? Because you can still pair it up with coupons and stuff, which I recommend. And then you could see in your coupons, you could see how many people are redeeming them. When you start to see people engaging with those emails, that means you have people that you have numbers on your side, meaning she may say, I have 100 people on my list. Is it worth it right now starting to set up real emails that are not real emails? They're all real emails, but holiday related emails. Well, look, the emails that have been automatically sending to your subscribers, are they reacting to them? Are they opening? Are they clicking through? Are they purchasing? You can see they purchasing because they could use a coupon code. You track it. Because here's the thing. You want to make sure that they're actually engaging and using those emails, because if not, that means you need to refine your emails. Meaning, and I go through it in the FAQ section in the course, you want to see, okay, is your open rate bad? If your open rate is bad, work on your subject line, work on your pre-header message, okay? Again, I go through in the course of the FAQ section to help you identify what the problem is. If you're like, no, my open rate's fine, it's the click-through rate that's wrong, or the conversion, or whatever. Once you get that down, or if you already have it down, like, no, people are engaging with it, whatever. Once you have that down, then you're ready. So it's not about how many subscribers do I recommend before you start sending holiday related emails, because that's a little bit more work, right? Maybe not. You could do it all in advance, really. But so you could ignore my recommendations and do this way in advance, FYI. But the reason why I say no, because once you send that Valentine's Day email, you have to wait 1 more year to send it. So you can't fix it. You can't fix it and then see how it does until 1 more year. So it's important that Samara and everybody else works on their non-date, non-holiday specific emails and see how they work for them with the amount of subscribers that they have. Until you get that down, then you could start sending emails that are scheduled in certain times of the year, as opposed to emails that are scheduled based on the subscriber actually signs up. I hope that makes sense. So Nobody answered my question. Nobody answered my question. A show-stopping message, guys, is a message like, what's in it for the customer? What would get me to stop? If I opened up, I was actually doing some school shopping for my kids, meaning some clothing. And a message that's show-stopping would be percentage off, a good one. Old Navy, I'm so used to them doing like 40 or 50% off. Like I would need that at minimum. I would make sure that, and that tights, if they have like tights sale, because my kids always wear tights. So that would be a show-stopping message for me, to think about your customer, what would be important to them, right? And there's many different ways. It's not just a percentage off, it gets some show-stopping message. Again, I go through it in the course, okay? So now let's go back to that offer, that eye-catching offer, okay? So you have to think about the offer and say, again, this is the checklist we're still going through. Was this email valuable enough for the customer? Is the offer worth it? If you're trying to send an email and you worked hard on it and you worked hard and you're only giving 7%, was it valuable? Did you just waste the customer's time opening the email? You probably did. Okay, unless again, they sell expensive jewelry, okay? Also, is the offer clear? Is it clear? And you might say, well, of course it is. No, sometimes people open the email. I'm like, wait, what are you offering? Like, it's not bold. It doesn't stand out. I'm looking for it. Like, it's not clear. Okay. Also, is the coupon code clear? Is it clear how the customer should redeem it? Is the coupon code active? That happened to me once. I will admit. I didn't activate the coupon code. It's a long story. It's not a long story. I just forgot. Okay. And does it have the proper end date? Okay. Next. Yeah, Sarah, limited time only is a great show-stopping message. There's a few others. Urgent language, okay? Which is actually what I'm about to go over right now. Urgent language. Again, this is part of a checklist. Does your email have urgent language? It's always important to have urgent language. People will coast and not purchase if there's no reason for them to on their side. Meaning, if I'm like not too long ago, my neighbor had a birthday party and I was going to order her gift on Amazon because I was too lazy to go to the store. I forgot to, and I had to go get it from Walmart, right? Like a toy or whatever. But that was urgent for me. So Saturday before the party, I went up and got it. Okay. When somebody needs a gift for a certain date, they get up and get it. But we're not relying on people's needs. We have to also use our marketing skills to get them to want to purchase. So does your email have urgent language? Another one, perfect, Heather, flash sale, right? Let me see. Samara, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you. Heather, I haven't checked it out yet. I didn't know it was there. Yes, you didn't know it was there. Oh my God. Okay, I'll talk about the worksheet in a minute. It's like the most amazing thing I've ever done. Like, it's amazing. Melissa, yes, that worksheet is the bomb. Thank you. I worked really hard on it. So hard to make sure it's so easy for you guys to schedule your whole entire year, literally one day. I actually scheduled my whole entire year already. I did it not in one day. I did it like in a couple hours. So technically, you could do it in a couple hours. But if you're a very indecisive person, it'll just take you one day, like period. Because I made it so easy for you. But anyway, I'll read the other comments in a second. So next, what else should you include? Checklist, guys. Remember, checklist. All right. So including product photos. Duh. Now, here's the thing about product photos. There have been people, including myself, that have successfully sent an email without product photos. Successfully, meaning people have converted, people have purchased. So it's possible. I wouldn't count on it all the time. Meaning, you ever seen an email that when you open it, it says limited time, 50% off, shop now. Like it's a pretty straightforward email. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So you don't have to always include product photos, but it helps the customer shop around. It helps them. It's almost like a silent salesperson. Like, oh, hey, Sally, welcome to my store. Would you be interested in this or this? That's what an email does. And so, there's ways to do without product photos, but it shouldn't be something that you always rely on. Okay. So, okay. So, un momento. Another part of the webinar, I go over this in more detail and how to do it and all this stuff. But your checklist should include adding text to photos that are benefit driven. Okay, I have a little part of the webinar where I go over what that means and details, and I give you some ideas. But when you see a product, I'll say this nice pen. Okay, it's one of my favorite pens right now. Imagine you sell pens. and I say text on photos. There's different ways to, do it, but that are benefit driven. What is the benefit of this pen to customers? Actually, if you guys don't recognize this pen, I'm a pen fanatic. This is a friction pen, which means it's erasable. Okay, with this little, by friction, it's erasable. So that would be the benefit. So how do you relate to the customer? Why do I care for an erasable pen? Well, for me personally, I use it in my planner, and sometimes I write messy and I can't read what I just wrote. So it's easy to erase it and then rewrite it, or something changes and I erase it and I rewrite it, etc. But I mean, there's different methods and reasons. So if you're selling to students, that'll be perfect. Like, this is different. So think about the benefit for the customer. So you could literally write, here's a picture of the pen and it says like, no more mistakes, erasable pen, blah, blah. I don't know, but adding text or photos, and it doesn't have to be all the photos, by the way, like, don't do that. But something that captures the person's attention, that like, yeah, I need this, does that make sense? So think about what your benefit of your products are. This might be far-fetched for some of you, but, and if you're like, I don't know, then this is a really good exercise to do that doesn't just help you in emails, it helps you in general, okay? Okay. All images should have alt text just in case they don't load immediately. So when you ever open an email and they don't load the photos, you've seen that before, right? You should fill out your alt text. It's just like housekeeping things, okay? All images should link to the correct URL. Guys, that means when you finish your email, before you hit send, like I said, that's a part of the checklist, you go through, make sure that they all have the correct URL. They actually lead somewhere and they actually lead to the correct item. Don't be leading people, like if you show this mug, and say, shop the Waco, Texas mug. I don't whatever. Tumblr, sorry, whatever this is called. Don't link this to the whole entire section of mugs or to the whole entire section of tumblers. Link it to this product. When I say shop kids stationery, I link them to the section of kids stationery, not to a particular item, not to my entire store. Link it to the right place. Don't make customers work hard. Okay. A few more things on the checklist, guys. Okay. Call to action, where you want them to click. So are there enough specific call to actions where you want them to click? Call to actions, guys, are like shop now and design yours now and, get yours here and things like that. Like it's an action that you want them to take, and buttons that you create and things like that. Okay. And of course, are they also linked to the correct URLs? Now, we talked about benefit before, but I'm going to say this again. Does the email focus on the benefit for them? This includes the offer, what types of products that they will be interested in, any add-ons that are for free, etc. Like, if you think about what I said earlier, yeah, of course, you already outlined the benefit. We talked about that and what products that we'd be interested in by showing them photos. But think about the additional things that are like really outline the benefit for them. So during the holiday season, I have a little graphic in my emails that say free gift wrap with every order, like period. That's a benefit for them. And so, what was it? I think it was Mother's Day or Father's Day. I forget. I gave them a link to my customized stationery section, which pretty much shows them all the fonts that they could change up their stationery with. I think it was Mother's Day where they had interest of really customizing their look. So the whole email really outlined the benefit for them, okay? Sorry. The footer. We have two more things to really cover. Footer, usually placed, toward the bottom, right? Be sure to outline all the rules and limitations and sales and coupon usage. I include this verbiage in my template and then just change it per email. How did that happen? I just spilled coffee on myself. And I just change it per email. Okay, guys? And then, of course, include social icons. I told you for professionalism, they can find you anywhere else if they need to. This should be really done in your template, okay? And include links to important pages such as FAQ, about section, privacy policy, whatever else important pages you got, okay? Last but not least, testing. Be sure to test your coupon code to make sure it works and there's no hiccups. That literally means you go in and you test. You put it in your cart and see if the coupon code works and takes off the correct amount, okay? Especially if you're doing a more complicated discount, a tiered off discount, or a free shipping plus 10% or whatever. Okay. Also, send a test email to yourself. Most email marketing platforms allow you to do this. Where you can, before you send it, you can send a test email. Check this on PC and on mobile. So when I do mine, I have an Android. I actually send it to my oh, hi. Oh yeah, we have to chop it. Yep, looks good. So I have an Android, right? And sometimes it can look different on Android and Apple phones. So I have it also sent to my assistant who has an Apple phone, and I'm able to view it there when she's available, right? And I check out my PC, make sure things are where they're supposed to be, because I've seen it before and I had to adjust some things to make sure that it looks the way I want to, things function the way I want to, etc. Okay. And then be sure to check on your website or wherever they are that people can actually check out. Now, if you're doing Etsy or Amazon sending them, it's fine. That's great. But if you're doing it to your own website, make sure that somebody can actually check out, that there's no website issues at that time, because it could happen from time to time. Okay. That is the entire checklist you should go through before you hit send. Okay. And by the way, this sounds like a lot, but after a while you get used to these and it's like, easy. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing any comments here. Heather says, I've been working my way through the webinar. I'm loving it. I also got my brand colors narrowed down so I could have a more cohesive opt-in offer and other graphics. Feeling very professional. Yeah, it's like a really simple thing to do, but it also instills trust in the customer to get them to want to purchase from you. It's all these little things that add up. It's not just one thing. It's not like, oh yeah, am I going to change my brand colors and people can start purchasing from me? Not quite, but it's all these little things that add up. Okay. I love friction pens. I have a few pens that I'm loving. How many images should we include in one email? That really just depends, right? I mean, sometimes I only include a few. Sometimes I include way more. That is not a question I could answer. I think it really depends on what the motive of your email is. Is it, for example, a Valentine's Day email and you don't really have Valentine's Day items, but you just want to run a Valentine's Day sale? Then it's important that maybe you just may have a main graphic and maybe a few of the major category photos. That's it. But like for me, like a back to school email would have a lot more photos because I'm showing people the different stationery for kids. So I'm like, I want to encourage them to shop. So I'm showing them different popular styles, etc. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it will depend, right? Should template fonts be ADA compliant? I don't know what that means. Tell me what you mean. I don't know what ADA means. So guys, oh, it's an hour already. I hope you enjoyed the free email list bootcamp. But now let's talk about the email list webinar. So the webinar, I'll put the link up again here. The webinar price is going up in 3 days. So today, tomorrow, Thursday midnight is when the price will go up. So if you wake up on Friday morning, the prices went up significantly. So that's number one. Let's talk about what you get if you get the course. First of all, everything we went through today, it's times 10 in the course and much more, because we actually go in the course over how to create the emails, what to include. I show you how to create your graphics. I show you how to create your product photo graphics. I show you how to create your template graphics. So like the category photos and the urgency language type of banners, such as limited time and flash sales and all this stuff. I go through it all for you, but let me follow the course here and go through the curriculum so I could explain it to you. Now, spoiler alert, I mentioned earlier, there's a worksheet. So what is this worksheet? The worksheet allows you, and there's a course in this section in the course that allows you to plan your entire marketing for the entire year in one day. By the way, you could use this worksheet, the SMART worksheet, for anything else besides email marketing, because it allows you to plan it. And then you could be like, oh, that's a good thing to do. I can just put that on social as well. You're more than welcome to. I mean, whatever. But the SMART worksheet auto-populates some things that will be relevant only for email. Technically, you could bring it to social and things, but nonetheless, I'll describe it in a second. So let's go over the course curriculum. First and foremost, you guys know for most of my groups, you have a private Facebook group that you have access to, which is really helpful when you have questions. Okay, you don't message me directly. You go to the group and you post. Okay, and I answer everything. Okay, and then the course workbook. The course workbook literally takes a whole entire course, You know how the course is sectioned off into unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, or like unit 1, section 1, unit 1, section 2. That's how the course workbook is done. So if you're like, man, what did she say about the checklist? You don't have to rewatch the video. I mean, you can if you want to hear my voice, but you can just go to the course workbook and just reference that section and go, there it is. There's my checklist. Done. I love it. So the first section is getting started, and it shows you what we talked about today, which is setting up a Mailchimp account, setting up additional email lists if you need it, and then some other basics like which email service provider you should be using, etc. Some boring things, but some things you should know if you're kind of new to stuff. Unit 2 is growing your email list. Okay. Don't be alarmed. It's a large section, but it's for a good reason, because I talk about what's an opt-in offer and how to use it to grow your list. I go over 6 effective strategies for an opt-in offer, how to design your opt-in page, how to set up your first automated message, and what to include. So I really break it down for you and show you how to do everything. So you're not like me, like yesterday, trying to do a new strategy, and I literally have no direction. Like I'm just working it. I'm just trying to work it. And yesterday I was so frustrated because I'm like, I didn't know how to do certain things. And it really took a toll on me yesterday. Like I told you, I had ice cream last night, which is not a big deal, but I've been trying to stay healthy, trying to avoid like heavy snacks at night, And so I was just like, screw it. I went to Freddy's. If you have Freddy's, it's amazing. The ice cream. I got some ice cream last night. So this will break it down for you. And then some, okay? Especially the easy stuff, it breaks it down for you. How to design your first opt-in graphic. And we talked about thank you page, okay? Why to create a thank you page and how to create a thank you page, okay? Those 2 videos, okay? 5 ways to get people on your list. So now that you designed your graphic and you decide what your opt-in offer is, you want to get people on that list, okay? So 5 ways to get people on the list. You should pretty much be doing all those 5. Then I also give you 17 additional ways, okay? Because like I said to you, you have to get all the touch points of your customer. That helps build your list even faster, okay? And of course, I have some final thoughts on building your list. That's a video of me talking. Make sure you check it out. Okay, unit 3 is the good stuff. Well, the fun stuff. Well, I think it's fun. It could be really annoying for some people, but at least it's broken down for you in the course. So it's email marketing. What and when to email your customers, your subscribers. So I go over the number 1 thing you need for a successful email campaign. Check that out. Don't forget it. And then I go into what you should email your subscribers, which is holiday specific and sale type, which we talked about, right? The holidays throughout the year, I break it down for you in there. And then there's different sale types, okay? I have plenty of them in there, okay? Then I give you 14 additional reasons to email your customers. These are non-date specific. You could automate these. You don't have to automate these. You could mix it in throughout the year, or you could just set these up to email people out of X amount of weeks after they subscribe. It's really up to you. I go through it in the course, okay? Then I talk about how to plan the best time to send an email to maximize sales. People always wonder, should I send it on a Monday, a Wednesday, what time, this and that? Check out that video, okay? Because there are better times to send, okay? And then how often should you email your subscribers? And this is to increase sales and annoy less people. I talked about today emailing once a month per theme, but there's 2 additional things you want to consider. Reminder emails, because if the sale is long, or even not long, even if it's like 2 days, there's some reminder emails you want to send, and segmenting. Okay. I go through it in the course, segmenting, because sometimes you're sending to a whole bunch of people. People have not opened that email. You want to segment to the people that unopened. It's a whole thing. Trust me. And so while you should be sending a minimum once a month, there's a few different emails you send, but it won't annoy people. So check that video out. Okay. And the video I'm so proud of, how to plan your own marketing calendar for the entire year in 1 day. Again, you could actually do it less than a day, but day sounds really cool. Instead of saying me like 2 hours, you could do it in an hour, to be honest. Okay. But I go through it in the video. Okay. This video is a little long. It's 45 minutes, but it's literally me just being like myself. And I'm showing you how I plan this marketing calendar. Okay. And so you could do it. And there's a link to a Google Sheets document that you have to make a copy of first. And it's an amazing Google Sheets document. Okay. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Evie, I had that last night. I had the chocolate brownie ice cream. That was the one I ate last night. Hilarious. Oh my God, small world. Okay. So this worksheet, okay, I can't show you my screen right now, but I'll post it on Instagram later. So if you want to see it, check Instagram in a couple hours, Instagram stories, and you'll see it. Okay. It has all the months broken down for you and all the potential. Like it's a smart worksheet where it allows you to click the drop down menu and select which type of holiday you want or which type of reason to email. Then the next column is how many days of the sale and then the type of sale. And it's all you have to do is like click and select, click and select. So you don't have to write anything out in those certain sections, okay? What the hell was that? That raccoon is going crazy. All right. And so it's a smart worksheet. So after you select certain things, some things auto-populate for you. So it tells you after you select certain things how often to send to customers. It tells you, okay, send on the first day and send on the last day. Like it auto-populates, okay? And if you're brave enough to start sending segmented emails, not recommended when you're first starting email list strategy, but later it tells you when to send the segmented emails. These are recommendations, okay? You can do what you want, obviously. These are recommendations, okay? There's also a spot for you to plan your theme. So for example, for Valentine's Day, my theme notes would probably be doing something pink and gold glitter. My email to look like it. I'd probably focus on stationery that have hearts and really like romantic looking. And again, I don't really send Valentine's Day email to get people to get the product by Valentine's Day. So it's not like I'm just doing it because it's like a theme. It's cute. And also, I'm glad I mentioned that because there's a column in the Smart Worksheet that says, is this a gift giving holiday or does the customer need it before the holiday? It's important for you to fill out because then after you fill that out, like for example, my New Year's on the Smart Worksheet, okay, that you get in the course for New Year's, it says, you fill out how many days of the sale, type of sale you want to do. Is this a gift giving holiday or do they need it before the holiday? For my customers, and the reason why I'm sending the email, no, they don't. Okay, they don't need my product for the New Year's. Now, if I was sending an email for my New Year's invites, which I don't have, but if I did, they would need it beforehand, right? But this stuff is just like New Year, new stationery, right? So I would say no. The second I click on no, the next column auto-populates. And again, I'll show you in a Instagram live, in an Instagram story. It tells you when the sale should start. So when the sale should start. And then we take that information from this worksheet, go to another tab, and you're going to actually schedule your whole entire year out. When the first email sends, when the second email sends, if you do second or third or whatever, but you know when to send, okay? So it's all done for you in the video, and I show you how to do it. It's really cool, the Smart Worksheet. I'm completely in love with it. I already did my whole entire year for 2020, okay? And this is not set in stone. You could change it. You could be like, you know what? I'm going to change my December, percentage off. Like you could change it. It just helps you do it all in advance, okay? When will the new planner be available? Actually, I'm ordering samples today. It's already done. I'm ordering samples today. I need to make sure that everything is printed correctly, like everything's the way I want it to, and so very soon, okay? Yeah, the calories are crazy. That's why I kind of felt bad doing it, but I was in a bad mood yesterday after I was trying to do that new strategy without any help. I was like, oh no, okay? So going back to the course, guys, okay? So like I said, again, 3 days before the price goes up. All right, so that's the first email marketing section. The second one is, now that you planned it, when to send, what to say, now you have to set up the actual email campaign. So I show you how to set up email templates that match your brand. Start with that because you want the templates. Why? Because when you start to send emails in the future, you have a template to work from. It's really simple, okay? It makes it simpler. The first part then after that is how to create buttons and text graphics that convert. Then it's how to create attention-grabbing graphics for your email. Okay. Then effective subject lines. So we're really breaking down what should be included in an email and all that stuff. And I walk you through it. Effective subject lines to get people to open your email. This is really important, guys, because everything here is important. I don't create any part of the course that is meant to waste your time. Everything is relevant here. And then I show you an example of some companies that are doing it right. And in that video, I'll tell you right now, I also recommend for you to follow or subscribe to similar companies that's in your market so you can get ideas. I explain more about it in the video, okay? And then the ultimate checklist for your email campaign before you hit send. That's what we went over today, okay? Now, Unit 5, which is how to maximize your email campaign results. We talk about segmenting in here, okay? And how you can maximize each campaign that you send by segmenting. The next video in there is how to re-engage inactive subscribers. You know those people that sign up to your email list and then pretty much disappear and then never open your emails? I teach you how to re-engage them so you could not lose them as a customer. Okay, unit 6. We have 2 more units and I'm done. Kind of. Yes, 3 more. Sorry. 2 more after this. Unit 6 is Automation Nation. You don't have to start with this, okay? In fact, you don't have to do this at all. But it helps make email marketing easier for you by automating it, meaning you do it all. You have to worry about it again for the rest of the year. Let me explain. First, the video, I go over what is automation and how does it work. Automation, guys, is you could automate the whole series of emails the whole entire year. And so pretty much I can just be chilling right now. And when Christmas comes, all my emails are sending on time, the follow-up emails, the reminder emails, segment, and I just be chilling, doing my other work. Smart, right? So I kind of go over what that is and what's about. I pretty much told you here. Next video is how to make money from your emails without lifting a finger, not date specifics. Remember how we talked about earlier? If you want to send emails and you just have a small list, but you're not really, want to put the effort in creating holiday emails when the holiday comes, you could do this. You could set up a series of emails, 6, 5, 3, whatever you want to do to keep active, to keep subscribers engaged, that will send X amount of dates, X amount of weeks after they subscribe. Please do this. It's unit 6, section 2. Okay, especially when you're first starting out or you're kind of newer to email lists, you only have a few, not so much people you believe, and do this. Now, the third part, unit 6, section 3, is how to schedule an entire year's worth of emails in 5 to 7 days. I would say 7 days, unless you're like a ninja. Okay. Well, no, I say 7 days. If you're like me, you could probably do it in 5, meaning I have people working for me. So I am able to only focus on just do my email list, right? In certain days. Now, it obviously might take you longer if you constantly, dedicate your time to filling orders. Imagine like 90% of your days filling orders, right? So this might take you longer, but nonetheless, it shows you how to schedule and create an entire year's worth of emails in 5 to 7 days. It's really cool. And I show you literally how to schedule it and everything. Okay. So, and that's creating it, everything you'll see. Now, unit 7 is the FAQ section, okay? So what I talked about earlier. So if you're like trying to adjust and fix things that are not quite working, there are 8 questions in here. Check those out. It covers things like how come people are not opening, how people are not purchasing my items, how come people are, not clicking through to my website, how come this, how come that, and it kind of goes through some things you should consider and fix. Okay. Then we have some bonuses, how to add a signature to the bottom of your emails, how to read your stats for your email list. That's really simple and straightforward. How to prevent your email from going to spam. Okay. How to connect to Aweber and a little mini Aweber training. Okay. And a couple of case studies that show you how I took an email, my old one, and improved it to a new one and why I changed certain things. Okay. So the email list webinar, again, 3 more days before the price goes up. I'm going to give you guys a link again. Oh, I already put it there. It's fine. I'll be posting about it instead of remind people. Many of you have already bought it over the last week, even though I failed to give reminders. But I told you guys on Tuesday, right? But there's 3 more days left. I've just been horribly busy. This webinar is jam-packed, but not to overwhelm you. If you're like, Dahlia, I'm new, where do I start? Start with starting and building your email list. That won't take you long to get it set up, because then they can run in the background. And then I recommend you to get some automated emails up. If you cannot, I'm not going to be mad at you. Like, I'm not, because at least you're building the list, Oh, the and sign. So I'm okay with it, but are we able to white mouse the and move it over a little bit to Austin? Okay. See that little space? Yeah. Like, it just, how the font is. Oh, wait, this looks a little weird. Remember how we talked about holding it and then pressing shift and going this way? That's how it is? Mm-hmm. I'm not hating it, but I just, okay. So we did that, that's fine. Yep, and just move the and over, just a few smidgens. That's it. Okay. So Heather says, I have over 500 subscribers. but most aren't very active. When I have sent emails in the past, I haven't had automation series set up. When I do set it up, should I send it to them or only new? That's a great question. I think depending on the email service provider you use, I think you need to do it based on people that just subscribe. Meaning, if I was on your email list and you set up the series, I won't get, if I've been a subscriber, I won't get that new series. Does that make sense? If I'm not mistaken, I think you have an option to select only the new people that just get added, if I'm not mistaken. And I understand where you're coming from. Here's my bigger concern, Heather. If they're not very active, you need to go through the FAQ section and figure out why and adjust, okay? I have come a long way in email marketing, meaning I have looked at my email campaigns and improved open rate. I've improved sales. But it took me some time, okay? Don't expect for you to start an email list today and be a winner chicken dinner the second you start sending emails. Here's why. First of all, are we ever perfect when we first do something new? So I started a new strategy yesterday and I want to punch a wall. And I started it and it's a long story, but I was not successful in it. So my first try sucked, but I have a new outlook today. I'm very excited. If you check my Instagram stories, you know what strategy I'm talking about. I have a new outlook today. I'm more organized and I'm going to do better. Okay. But I could bounce back really quick. The point for Heather and anybody else is like, if you have people on your list, why aren't they, first of all, what's the problem? Are they opening? If they're opening but not clicking through, why aren't they clicking through? What's in your email that's not getting them to click? What about your call to action buttons? I mean, are you sending things that's irrelevant to them? I mean, obviously you sell jewelry, right? But you're always sending jewelry. But what about the products you're recommending in the thing? Like, there's a lot to go over. And if you check in the FAQ section, that's where you should start. And then you take that information that and you could post it in the private group, okay? Because again, like I said, when I first started, and even shortly after, I was not, and that was many years ago, but I was not really good at email marketing. And by the way, I'm still today improving on my email marketing campaigns. I am. I'm always looking at past campaigns. There's a lot of mind work here, but looking at past campaigns and see what worked, what didn't. I'm not going to try to switch it up and try something new and blah, blah. But, it's important to understand why people didn't react the way that you wanted to. They joined your list willingly. So there's something that you're doing that's not quite as effective. Okay. When you say not very active, I'm assuming they're not opening. Why? What does your email subject look like? How do you get them to be more active? Check out that re-engagement email section, the how to re-engage inactive subscribers. But before you even go to that, maybe you have to try just in general harder to get people to open, and sometimes it's not as simple as posting in the group and getting our feedback. Sometimes it's you sitting back and saying, okay, let me try something different and new. Because while we could give you feedback, nobody in the group is a know-all be-all, not even including myself. And so I'm still always testing things out and doing different things. It's important to say, for Valentine's Day, for example, only 5% opened, right? For example, and you're like, I should have gotten more. Well, what did you tell them in the email? Was it only 10% off? Was that a cheap offer? Like, they could mean many reasons why, and that could be hard to then narrow down what the issue is and you could fix it. So that's why it's a little harder, okay? But what I love about email is that when you do eventually get it over time, you have built enough people that when you do send an email, you have a larger email subscriber base, that when you do send an email, a huge amount of sales. For example, imagine I have 5,000 people on my list right now. But imagine in 5 years, I have 15,000 people or 30,000 people. Every email I send is more powerful, especially if I figured it out early on. You're still early on in the stages of email list building, Heather. And so what I would recommend to you is identifying and help, dissecting why these emails are not quite working for your customer base. Okay. Working on my email automation as I'm watching this. Love that. Make sure, Gemma, you check out, if I'm not mistaken, if I understood you correctly, make sure you check out the how to schedule a year's worth of emails in 7 days. I think it might be relevant to you right now. Anyway, so that's it, guys. I just want to share that with you. And I hope you took this YouTube live and put some fire behind you. If you already have the email list webinar, get back to it, right? It's a constant thing. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not always thinking about email list, obviously. I've set up to be a more passive strategy for me, but I'm always adjusting some things here and there. But if you do not have a email marketing plan, I need you to utilize this Facebook, YouTube Live, or get the course if you want a more thorough approach. Like you need somebody to hold your hand with it, etc., and get started. There's enough of this nonsense. I'm sorry, this is like a vent thing. That, and I'm not mad at the members who message me and tell me these issues. It's real issues, but enough of this nonsense of, I don't know what to do. They shut me down. I don't know what to do. The algorithm changed. I don't know what to do. Like, blah, 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 blah. And granted, even if you just started, right, email list and you've started it, but Etsy shuts you down tomorrow, it's not your fault. You've started it, okay? But you should have done this a long time ago. So start today. Use this YouTube Live. If you don't want to buy the course, use it and get started, okay? But if you want to give this a real serious go, get the course. It is obviously way underpriced. Okay, there's a payment plan available. The price is going up Thursday after midnight, significantly, like $100. Okay, and it will never be this price again, even if you wait till Black Friday. This will be the cheapest it is. Okay, and as you know, I've just recently updated it. Okay, I don't know if you knew that, but I recently updated it, and a lot of my courses get updated. And so every time I find new information and how to do things better, etc., I update. And that's the best part. You have lifetime access. You can access it anytime you want, and you get access to lifetime updates as long as I'm around. Hope it's a long time. You're welcome. Okay, and don't get frustrated. Like I said, yesterday I was frustrated so bad that from that strategy, and it was upsetting. But today I'm hopeful. It's going to be a lot of work, and don't also let that get you down. It could be a lot of work when you're setting up the emails. When you're starting an email list and you're building it, it's not that. I don't think it's that much work. But when you're starting to actually send emails, put things together, it could be a lot of work. But who said running a business is easy, right? You can't expect to get courses and strategies and whatever you buy to think it's a magic wand. It doesn't always work that way. Okay. I'm not interested in selling you a course that makes things just like super. First of all, I wish I could. I wish I could sell you a course that makes things super, super easy for you. This course has made things easy for you, but it doesn't necessarily, subjectively, but does it necessarily mean it's still easy? You know, what's easy is, you know, washing my face in the morning, brushing my teeth. That's like, right? But doing certain things, eventually you get used to it. And so I know the strategy I was working on yesterday, it's not particularly easy. It will get easier, but I know I know that I'm willing to do things that most people don't. And that's why I'm able to succeed. Meaning, are you going to be the person? Are you? I'm talking to you. Going to be the person that do certain strategies, that do things most people are not willing to do. That's what make you stand out. So for anybody out there that gets frustrated after you get started, you have to push through. Because guess what? Most people would quit. For example, bad example, but I'm still going to mention it. My sister, not the one that owns a business, somewhat, the other one who works, you know, I think what does she do? She's in the medical field. I don't know what she does. She tries to start her own business and she quits after like a day. Like, I'm not even joking. Okay. Like after a few days. Okay. She doesn't have the patience. So most people don't. And that's okay. Most people are not cut out for this type of work. Are you? If you are, then get to it. Mm-hmm. My biggest problem is attracting new signups. Does your course cover this in detail? In some detail? Yeah, much more than some detail. So here's the thing, Beverly. Let me just go over that. First and foremost, yes, it does. It goes over in the second section, Unit 2, called Growing Your Email List. So it talks about the opt-in offer, 6 effective strategies for an opt-in offer, how to design your opt-in page, set up your first automated message, blah, 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 blah. And then the most important part I think you're looking for is 5 ways to get people on your list and 17 additional ways. Okay. Now here's the thing, Beverly and everybody else. While those videos will help you optimize it, you have to understand something. If you're just selling on Etsy, I'm just giving you an example, and you have, I'm just saying, right? 30 people coming to your Etsy shop a day, which is not a lot, but it's something. Not all 30 people are going to sign up, correct? We could assume that, and I'm making up a number here, 10% people sign up. That's 3 people. And so while the course will help you get more people on your list, it's also relative to the amount of people that are looking at your opt-in. So if you only have your opt-in offer on your Etsy shop, then you'd have to increase your traffic to get more people to look at your opt-in offer. Does that make sense? And so the more sales channels you have, the better. I can't put my opt-in offer on Amazon, fine, because they have rules, but I have it on my Etsy shop and I get decent traffic there. Excuse me. I have it on my .com. I have decent traffic there. And you know what I'm saying? So I have many different ways, but the worst, like the extreme example is Beverly, and this could be maybe not as extreme, but it really is relative how much traffic you get to those opt-in offers. Now imagine you're like, no, I have some decent traffic. Then yes, the email, because I don't help you in the course work on getting more traffic to your Etsy shop. Obviously, that's on you. But if you do get decent traffic, but you're only converting 3% of people that come to your Etsy shop to sign up, yes, it will, because we go over in detail the opt-in graphic. It's not just simple, okay, make sure you put your percentage off on there. Make sure you put the URL. I really break down for you how to get people's attention on there, several places to put it, okay, and a few other things, okay? So, and again, there's been a popular question about people that don't offer repeat type of products. So when you're in the wedding industry, it's a slightly different. Your opt-in offer would not be what follows in the course, and it absolutely could. But a lot of time, people in the wedding industry that do have my email course, they focus on getting the subscriber early on, and then using that marketing channel to help them convert to buy that wedding item. Usually, I work with wedding invitation designers. And so they use it to help place their final deposit. So they get them early on. Does that make sense when the customers are just starting to look around? And so then Sally, who starts an email list, can get, Heather, right, who signs up. She's about to get married. And then eventually over time, she emails her. And then eventually is like, oh, 10% off of my deposit. I'm down to get my, thing. So that's different. But if you're selling products that are repeat customer based type of products, there should be no reason. And again, Beverly, it really depends. Like, are you getting enough traffic to your shop? I can't get the amount of signups I do. I can't if I didn't have that much traffic. You know what I'm saying? But just remember, this course is an entire course. While I understand your question and it's very valid and I do cover it, it's important that with every course I offer, that you utilize the entire course. You don't, unless you're like a whiz kid at email marketing and you know how to put things in emails and get them to convert, great. I recommend utilizing the entire course as well. I'm not just talking to Beverly, I'm talking to everybody, because people tend to like just jump to certain sections in the course. I could see it. I could see the reports of what people utilize in certain courses. And it's important not to skip over the section of the course. It's important to utilize it. I took the time to create these on purpose. Okay? Anyway. I'll place some reminders later in the group and on social and all that stuff. In a little bit, as soon as I check on my peeps, I will post on Instagram stories the worksheet so you can see how smart it is. It's awesome. Trust me, you won't regret it. I love it. So that's it. Okay. If you guys have any other questions, I don't see any down here, but if you have any questions, you could post it in the group, or you can message me on Facebook with your question. I'll be knee deep in that new strategy I'm working on. But again, I told you, I feel better about it today than I did yesterday. So it should be all good. All right. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. And I'll see you next week on Tuesday. All right. Bye.